All right, today we're diving into a really fascinating idea. We're going to explore this concept that asks, what if your dreams are way more than just, mental noise? What if they're actually a doorway to a huge spiritual reality, what this particular framework calls the antimatter world?
So, this whole idea really starts by throwing our usual assumptions about sleep right out the window. It's asking us to think about our dreams not as some random, chaotic jumble of thoughts, but as a real, genuine portal to a whole other plane of existence. It's a huge claim, right? So, let's break down what that actually means.
So, what is this other reality? Well, it's called the antimatter world. And right off the bat, no, this has absolutely nothing to do with physics. In this context, antimatter just means a non-physical, spiritual dimension that exists right alongside our own. And the key to unlocking it? Well, according to this philosophy, it's something we all already have, our dreams.
Now look, there are tons of spiritual practices out there that claim to give you a peek into other dimensions. You've got meditation, hypnosis, the whole shebang. But this framework, it argues that one method stands head and shoulders above the rest as the most direct route. And that method is simply dreaming. The thinking behind this is pretty simple. Pretty much everyone dreams, so in a way, we're all natural visitors to this other world already. The text basically suggests that our dreamscape is the antimatter world, so getting there isn't really the problem. The real trick is to understand what you're seeing, and then learn how to navigate it on purpose.
So, okay, if our dreams are this gateway, what are they trying to tell us about ourselves? According to this philosophy, our dreams are anything but random. In fact, you can actually sort them into categories to figure out where your consciousness is at.
This framework actually lays out a kind of diagnostic chart for our dreams. For example, think about those super common anxiety dreams. You know the ones where you're being chased or you feel totally paralyzed. Those are said to come from an underworld level of consciousness. And what about dreams where you're just hanging out, socializing? That's seen as our normal, everyday human state. But then you get to the incredible stuff. Dreams of flying, having superpowers, or seeing these breathtaking landscapes. Those are signs you're tapping into the higher, heavenly realms. And get this, it's not just what you dream about. Apparently, even the colors in your dreams are a big deal. According to this way of thinking, if you're only dreaming in black and white, it's a sign that your spiritual state just isn't ready for those higher realms. Before you can even be in the running to enter, your dreams first have to pop with vivid, full color.
And this is where things get really serious. Because in this view, dreams aren't just some handy diagnostic tool. Nope, they are the ultimate, final test of your entire spiritual journey. So here is the absolute core of the whole thing. The quality of your dreams is a direct mirror of what's called your antimatter structure of life. The argument goes even further, saying that any realm you can't get to in your dreams is a place you won't be able to go after you die. Your dreams, in other words, are basically a sneak peek of your afterlife.
I know, that sounds kind of terrifying, right? Like we're just passive victims of whatever our subconscious cooks up. But this philosophy pushes back against that idea hard. It argues that we are not just spectators here. We're the ones in the director's chair. This chart kind of lays it all out for us visually. You can see how these experiences are split between what's called the underworld realms, the regular human realm, and those higher heavenly realms. The whole point, as the text presents it, is to actively work on shifting your dream life up towards that top tier. All right, so this brings us to the big question. If we're really in charge, how do we actually do it? How do we take control and master our own dream world? Well, the text gives us a pretty clear roadmap.
It all boils down to one simple but super powerful idea. You can't change the dream from the outside. You have to change it from the inside. Every single thing you see in your dream is just a projection of your inner consciousness. So if you want to have better dreams, you first have to build a better mind.
So how's it done? This philosophy lays out a 4-step process. First, you work on finding inner peace and serenity. Second, you start to clear away all those worldly attachments and debts. Step 3 is about actively kicking negative thoughts to the curb. And finally, the last step is to consciously picture those beautiful, heavenly scenes while you're awake. Basically, you're training your mind for where you want it to go at night. And there are a couple of interesting things to keep in mind here. The text claims that simple, pure thoughts are what lead to good dreams. And funny enough, when you first start a spiritual practice, your dreams might actually get a bit worse for a while, as your mind gets more active. But if you stick with it, The good dreams should start showing up more and more. And when they become consistent, that's the signal that your spiritual self is ready. So really, the entire practice comes down to one key thing: just paying attention. The idea is to constantly observe your own dreams like they're a map, using the clues from your inner world at night to help you find your way forward in this other dimension. So as we wrap this up, it really leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought. If your dreams truly are a reflection of your own mind, and you have the power to shape that mind, then the real question isn't just what you'll dream tonight. It's what world will you choose to build?